Hello everyone, welcome back to another market review. So I'll be going over today's trade. For me it was a break-even day, even though the bias is actually playing out to what I was thinking it was going to do. But yeah, I'll just be going over today. Going to the daily chart, we can see that it seems now that we're leaning a bit more bearish because we're showing some like nice rejection from this area that I've been paying attention to, this key area. So I'm expecting this low of the range, of the daily range, to be a target. And then past that, of course, that monthly fair value gap I've been talking about, I think we could draw towards there. So overall on the daily, I'm leaning bearish. Now when we go to the 90-minute chart, we can see here that we today all assets closed below previous day low, which is a bearish sign, but also we have yesterday's previous day high SMT still intact, so that's still a reference point that I'm using for continued lower prices on this intermediate term time frame. So ideally today I'd be looking to take some sells, ideally, like, let me see if I had annotated. Oh yeah, so this is kind of the range I'm looking at on the 90-minute. We're in this big range, of course, but this is the range I'm looking at. I didn't exactly want to sell here. I would like price to retrace into a fair value gap to then look for lower prices. So yeah, and then when we went into the session, we can see that we did have a previous 90-minute high SMT right here, but I didn't enter on this because it didn't tap into that fair value gap that I wanted to see. And also there's no wick here, no top wick on this 5-minute candle, which, more likely than not, we could tend to revisit and create that top wick. Overall, it was a good idea to stay out because the market did go down, but then eventually came up, and we invalidated this 5-minute SMT. So the only way I could enter, because the 5-minute was invalidated, was a 15-minute SMT, which we did end up getting. Don't know if I can annotate it well, but basically, let's see, where is midnight? Midnight. This was an SMT here. YM drove higher, took out the previous session high, and NQ failed to. And then we got this bearish change in the state of delivery right here. And this is kind of what the position looked like. Entered here, stop loss here. But for me, this was a break-even trade. So if we look at the 1-minute chart, I was looking at the 1-minute chart this whole time, like before the entry, and honestly, I was not like feeling the best because this price action was so kind of like, it was just stuck in between this range right here. It went up, it was ping-ponging, and then as you can see, even when we broke down lower, we had a little push to this low, and then just ping-ponged, like it was really ugly price action. So I actually got psyched out of my trade a little bit. I mean, like, I entered, but then I didn't like what I was seeing in price, and I just closed my position for break even. That wasn't a very good choice. I should have just let my position do its thing. This would have been still a break even day because I'd be paying attention to this low of the day, Ideally, you'd want to see us hit into that and continue low with force. But as you can see, we hit into it and then immediately went back up and hit entry point and been dancing around there for a while. So the whole AM session was actually really choppy, and only now has price begun to run. So all in all, it was a break-even day for me, but the idea ended up, it's playing out right now. So the bias was correct, just the execution wasn't the right one Not that there was anything wrong, but it's just, sometimes you can't catch the move even if your bias is right. As long as you follow the plan and the model, then that's the win. So yeah, that's about it. Now we created this. I'm looking at this new 90-minute range as we're forming it, this shorter one. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty inevitable, but I think we're definitely heading to these lows here. So yeah, that's about it for me today. Overall, I have this day marked down as a red day just because it wasn't right of me to just exit my position out of fear. Sorry, my phone's pinging. Yeah, so it wasn't right for me to just exit my position here without any reason, but at least it would have been a break even either way, because it hit into this low and then chopped back up. But yeah, that's about it for today. Sorry, this was a bit of a rambling one, but hope this was insightful, and we'll come back tomorrow and see what we can do. Alright, thank you. Bye bye.